There's a certain kind of frustration that builds, not overnight, but over years. You've done the hard work, you've saved, you've shown up, you've tried to build a good life, and yet something always feels off. Like the money doesn't stay, like the peace doesn't last, like relationships keep brushing up against invisible edges you can't quite name. And it's maddening, isn't it? Because nobody ever taught you that the energy leaking from your life might be coming from something as ordinary, as overlooked, as the place you put your shoes. That small cabinet by the front door, or the messy pile near the hallway, or even the stack of neatly arranged pairs under your bed. They're not just convenient. They're active participants in your life's energy field. And depending on where they live in your home, they're either supporting your future or stealing quietly from it. In Feng Shui, nothing is neutral. Every object, every arrangement either flows with you or blocks you. And shoes, because they've walked through dirt, chaos, and unknown energy, are especially potent. They carry stories, they hold residue, they drag in the world's noise. That's why where you place them is not just about design, it's about destiny. Because your home is not just a shelter, it's a mirror. It reflects who you are, what you allow, and what you're prepared to receive. When you invite in disorder through careless placement, especially near the vital entrances of your home, you begin to create friction with abundance. You start to unconsciously say, I don't respect what protects me. I don't safeguard the space that welcomes my future. Now, I know this sounds intense, but it's because I've seen it again and again. I've walked through the homes of people who were struggling with money, with health, with conflict, and I've watched how a single shift in shoe cabinet placement can begin a ripple effect. The tension near the entry softens, the sleep deeper, the arguments in the kitchen less frequent. It's not superstition, it's alignment, it's structure, it's energy that finally has room to breathe and room to work for you. And here's why this matters more than ever. In today's world, we are overwhelmed with noise, stress, and invisible drains on our spirit. Most of us don't need more motivation. We need less resistance, less static, less silent sabotage hiding in plain sight. That's why I want you to take this video seriously. Because if your home is unknowingly fighting against you, no amount of hard work outside those walls will truly stick. And if you get this right, if you place your shoe cabinet where it supports the energy of arrival, of security, and of growth, your life will begin to reflect that harmony. You'll notice it not in fireworks, but in flow, in opportunities that don't slip through your fingers, in nights where you actually rest, in mornings where you feel finally like your path is clearing. That's why today's video is one of the most important I've shared on this channel. Because the shoe cabinet seems so small, so harmless, but I promise you it's not. In Feng Shui, it's a gatekeeper, and when you place it wrong, you're asking the universe to pause, to hesitate before it gives, to knock, but not enter. So today I'm going to guide you step by step through the 5 most common mistakes people make with their shoe cabinet. And I'm not just going to point out what's wrong. I'll show you what's better, where to move it, how to work with the layout you have, not some ideal home you don't. Because Feng Shui isn't about perfection, it's about intention. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll walk away with clear, practical steps you can implement today. Not tomorrow, today. Whether you live in a studio apartment, a family home, or a shared space, you'll be able to shift something small and begin changing something big. But before we dive in, please take a moment to support this work. If you're finding value here, if you believe like I do that our homes are sacred tools for healing and growth, then help me reach more people by clicking like, sharing this video with someone you care about, and subscribing to New Day Mindfulness. I'm on a mission to help 5,000 people reconnect with the wisdom of intentional living, and your support makes that possible. So, are you ready to discover whether your shoe cabinet is helping you or holding you back? Let's begin the journey into clarity, purpose, and energy that finally works for you, not against you. Mistake 1, blocking the front door. There are some design choices we make without much thought because they seem practical, convenient, or simply common. A shoe cabinet by the front door feels like one of those no-brainers. We come home, we slip off our shoes, and we tuck them into that cabinet right next to the entryway. Clean, efficient, orderly. But as someone who has studied the energy flow of hundreds of homes, as someone who's walked the thresholds of apartments, mansions, townhomes, and temples, I'm telling you now, that single placement choice may be the very thing choking the lifeblood of your space. And it's not just a Feng Shui idea, it's a matter of how life itself enters your home. Let's go deeper. Let's understand why. The front entrance is not just a door, it is your home's mouth of qi. It is the point where energy, opportunity, and protection either flow in or are blocked. Just like the lungs are useless if the nose and throat are congested, the wealth of your space, the possibilities of your life, depend entirely on how open and intentional this gateway is. And what do we often do to the sacred opening? We compress it, we crowd it, we smother it under piles of shoes, heavy storage units, and neglected clutter. Let me put it this way. Placing a shoe cabinet directly at the entryway is like building a dam at the mouth of a river and wondering why your fields are dry. In consultation after consultation, I've walked into homes where the energy felt immediately tight, not tense in a dramatic way, but subtly off, like the house had been holding its breath. And in nearly every one of these cases, what greets you at the door is not flow, not light, not space, but a large, bulky, overstuffed shoe cabinet. And suddenly the pattern makes sense. These homes often shared something else in common: financial stagnation, repetitive conflict among family members, sleep disturbances, a sense of always being behind, always needing to catch up. And I always ask the same question. When you open this door, what greets you? What message does this space send to the energy you wish to invite in? Because here's the truth. Qi is intelligent. Energy is responsive. It arrives with an invitation and leaves when it senses rejection. If your entryway says no room, not now, come back later, then don't be surprised if opportunities do exactly that. They pass you by. They wait for another home, another person, another space that feels open to growth, to luck, to newness. Now let's break this down structurally. A cabinet placed right at the door, especially if it's tall, heavy, or dark in color, does more than just physically occupy space. It casts a shadow. It absorbs light. It distorts proportion. And more importantly, it creates what we call in Feng Shui a pressure point. That means instead of allowing energy to meander in and disperse evenly, it hits a wall. The result? Stagnation. Imagine a stream forced to collide with a rock. What happens? Swirling murky eddies, debris trapped, flow lost. This is not a superstition. It's a spatial truth. Think about how your own body reacts in tight spaces. How do you feel in a narrow hallway with dim lighting and things brushing against your arms? Constricted, hesitant. And that's exactly how energy feels in a home with a shoe cabinet stuffed into the doorway. I know what you may be thinking, but I need that cabinet there. It's where I put my shoes. I understand. Our homes are meant to serve us, to support function as well as feeling. But let me propose something. What if form and energy could work together, not against each other? What if the act of storing your shoes became a ritual of clearing rather than a habit of blocking? Because the truth is, your shoes carry energy too. Wherever you walk, whether through the stress of the office, the arguments of the street, or the chaos of the market, your shoes collect that imprint. And bringing them inside without intention is like dragging invisible footprints of fatigue into your sacred space. That's why Feng Shui doesn't just advise against shoe clutter near the door. It urges us to cleanse the energy of what we wear, where we walk, and what we bring home. So what's the solution? First, distance. If you can, relocate the shoe cabinet at least 5 to 6 feet away from the main door. Position it along a side wall or just inside the home but not facing the threshold. Think of this as giving energy a clear runway, an unblocked path to enter, settle, and bless your space. Second, concealment. If you absolutely must keep the shoe cabinet near the door, choose a closed design, preferably one with light, natural colors, wood or white tones that reflect rather than absorb. Avoid open racks, especially the kind that allows shoes to stare outward. In Feng Shui, exposed soles are a sign of reversal, sending energy back out the door. You want containment, not confrontation. Third, cleanliness. Never underestimate the symbolic power of dust, scuff marks, or neglected shoes. Just like stagnant water breeds mosquitoes, stagnant objects collect stale qi. Wipe down the cabinet weekly. Rotate your shoes. Add a small bowl of Himalayan salt inside the cabinet to absorb negative residue. Or place a sachet of herbs, like sage or lavender, to neutralize leftover tension. Fourth, balance. Place a small light above or near the cabinet. Soft lighting not only uplifts the space but also signals welcome to both people and energy. You can also position a plant nearby, a peace lily or snake plant, to act as a living filter, gently rebalancing any disrupted flow. And finally, intention. This may be the most important remedy of all. Before you store your shoes each day, pause, even for just 2 seconds. Hold the thought, I leave behind what no longer serves me. I walk forward in peace. This single mental shift turns a mundane act into a daily clearing, and your home feels it. Your energy feels it. Your future feels it. Let me pause here and say something bold but true. The placement of your shoe cabinet tells me more about your life than your calendar ever could. Because the entrance is not just where you begin your day, it's where you decide what kind of day it will be, what kind of life you're calling in. I once worked with a family in Seattle, 2 parents, 2 kids, in a beautiful house that never quite felt like home. They struggled with health issues, money that came and went, and a sense of never truly landing. The first thing I noticed, a massive black cabinet flush against the door. And not just shoes, but backpacks, umbrellas, packages, all stacked with no thought. I gently recommended they move it, even just a few feet. They did. Within weeks, the father received an unexpected job promotion. Their eldest, who struggled with anxiety, began sleeping through the night. Coincidence? Maybe, but as any master builder will tell you, structure creates outcomes, and intention rearranges fate. So I invite you now to ask yourself, not just where is my shoe cabinet, but what message is my home sending at the very moment I walk in? Is it saying, come in, good fortune? Or is it whispering, not now, too crowded? Because energy listens. It follows the path we carve for it. And if we learn to carve wisely, if we learn to welcome intentionally, then even our smallest furniture becomes a powerful ally in shaping a life of flow, of peace, of abundance. Before we continue to the next placement mistake, I encourage you to take one small step tonight. Just move your shoe cabinet a little farther from the door. Light a candle at your entrance. Wipe down the threshold with intention, and then pause. Feel the shift. It will be subtle like the first breeze before a change in weather. But you'll know, and once your entrance breathes again, so will you. And while you're here, if this resonates with you, if you felt even one truth land in your heart, please help this energy ripple further. A single like, a share, a subscription helps us grow New Day Mindfulness into a community where ancient wisdom meets everyday life. I'm deeply grateful for each of you walking this path with me. Mistake 2, shoe cabinets in the bedroom. There's something sacred about the bedroom that most people overlook. It's more than just where you sleep. It's where you soften. It's where your defenses drop. It's where your mind finally releases the constant calculations of the day and your spirit has the chance to settle back into alignment. But here's the quiet tragedy I've seen play out in hundreds of homes across decades of Feng Shui consultation. The very space that's meant to restore you is often silently disturbed by what you've brought in from the outside, through your shoes. Not on your feet, but inside a cabinet, right there, often just steps from the bed. And I want to be clear, this isn't about cleanliness. You could have the most immaculate shoe cabinet ever built. It could be made of polished oak with a cedar inlay and organized by brand, size, and frequency of wear. But that doesn't change the energetic truth. Shoes carry external energy, and the bedroom, more than any other room in your home, is meant to be energetically internal. That's the core conflict, and it's deeper than most people realize. Think about what shoes actually do. They absorb the frequency of your day. They move through places where tension lives. They carry the vibration of speed, of urgency, of decisions made in hallways, in offices, on sidewalks, in crowded elevators. And when you store them in your bedroom, even in a cabinet, you are, in a very real sense, inviting those frequencies into the one space that's supposed to insulate you from them. You are saying without words, I allow the outside world into my most vulnerable space. And your body hears that. Your nervous system, whether you're conscious of it or not, responds to the energy around you. It does not need you to believe in Feng Shui for this to be true. The vibration of every object, every corner, every smell and material in your room, those cues speak directly to the most primal part of you. And that's why this placement matters so much. Because when you go to sleep in a room where shoes are stored, especially shoes that have seen long commutes, high-stress work environments, or chaotic errands, you're not really sleeping in stillness. You're sleeping beside the imprint of movement, the memory of motion, the echo of the world outside your walls. Now, this might sound poetic, but I assure you it's practical. I remember working with a couple in San Diego, not spiritual types, not into Feng Shui at all. They were a high-functioning pair. One worked in tech, the other in healthcare. Smart, driven, and always exhausted. They came to me not for energy flow, but for help sleeping. They tried melatonin. They tried meditation. They even tried sleeping in separate rooms for a time, hoping that distance would bring peace. But the problem wasn't each other. It was what they had invited into the bedroom without knowing. Right there, next to the nightstand on his side of the bed, was a tall, closed shoe cabinet. Nothing dramatic, nothing messy. But inside were 12 pairs of shoes. Work shoes, hiking boots, gym sneakers, energy from offices, from traffic jams, from crowded airports. And every night that energy sat beside their sleep like an uninvited guest. We moved the cabinet, that's all. We moved it out of the room, placed it in a closed closet in the hallway with a grounding mat beneath it. Within 2 weeks, their sleep stabilized. They woke up more refreshed. Their conversations became gentler. They felt, his words, not mine, less pulled apart. That's not magic, that's vibration. That's honoring the difference between what serves you in the world and what restores you at home. And let me go deeper, because this isn't just about sleep, it's about intimacy. Your bedroom isn't just where your body rests, it's where emotional closeness is nurtured. It's where trust is built in the dark, where safety is felt without words. And when you fill that space with energetic noise from the outside world, you create friction. Not dramatic, not always noticeable at first, but over time there's a subtle barrier, a hardness, a restlessness. You may not feel like touching, you may not feel like talking, and you won't always know why. But I'll tell you this, I've walked into enough bedrooms to know when there's a conflict between the purpose of the space and the energy being stored inside it. Now, let's talk about excuses because I've heard them all. I don't have space anywhere else. It's just shoes. They're clean. It's in a cabinet, so it doesn't matter. But listen, Feng Shui is not a system of judgment. It's a system of alignment. It doesn't punish you for your layout, but it does reflect what you tolerate. And if you allow the most energetically disruptive items to live where you're meant to regenerate, the system simply mirrors that tension. That's it. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for intention. So let's be intentional. If your current layout forces you to keep shoes in the bedroom, here's how you can soften the impact. First, use a fully enclosed cabinet, not one with open shelving. Second, place grounding elements beneath and around it. A small Himalayan salt lamp nearby. A grounding mat or rug made of natural fibers beneath it. Third, never place the cabinet near the head of your bed. If it must be in the room, place it as far from the bed as possible, preferably near the door, so that at least symbolically, the energy of movement stays near the threshold and doesn't reach the heart of the room. But ideally, move them out. Use that space instead for something that invites calm. A plant, a stack of meaningful books, a bowl of crystals, even a framed photo that reminds you of who you're becoming, not what you've been through on the street. Because this room deserves more than the residue of your commute. And I want to say something to those of you who live in small spaces, studio apartments, shared rooms, tight city layouts. I see you, I've lived that life. And I know sometimes it feels like you don't have a choice. But even within limitation, there is always the opportunity for reverence. You can place a small cloth cover over your shoes. You can smudge the area weekly. You can light incense before bed and say aloud, "This space is safe, this space is mine." The rituals don't need to be grand. They just need to be yours. Because your sleep is sacred. Your peace is sacred. And they're worth protecting. So if you've been waking up tired or going to bed restless or feeling like your dreams are muted, start here. Look at where your shoes sleep. They may be resting, yes, but their energy is still awake, still whispering, still pulling your room out of sync. This section may feel quiet. It's not dramatic like a broken mirror or a cluttered hallway. But make no mistake, this is where energy is won or lost. Not in the chaos of the world, but in the quiet of your room. And the bedroom, if protected, can become your greatest source of power. Because it's where you remember yourself, where you release the world and return to center. So I ask you now, what lives beside your rest? What energy watches you sleep? And what are you ready to let go of? Not just from your closet, but from your life. Let this be the moment you reclaim your space, not just for design, but for dignity, for alignment, for the version of you that no longer carries the outside world into your healing. Because you deserve that, and your bedroom does too. Mistake 3. Center of the home. When the rhythm of your home feels off, like something subtle is misaligned, no matter how much you clean or rearrange, there's often a silent culprit hiding in plain sight, right in the heart of your space. The shoe cabinet, seemingly harmless, becomes a major disruptor when placed dead center in your home. This isn't just about aesthetics or convenience. This is about the very core of your home's energetic anatomy. Because the center of your home, what we in Feng Shui call the Tai Chi, is not just a location. It's the energetic spine that connects every breath of life force in your space. It influences how energy circulates, how harmony is maintained, and how each room communicates with the next. And when this central point is blocked, dimmed, or weighed down by something like a bulky shoe cabinet, the entire ecosystem of your home begins to suffer. Imagine placing a rock in the center of a still pond. The ripples hit the edges differently, out of sync, some even bouncing back toward the middle. The natural flow is disturbed. In your home, it's no different. The center of your home is the meeting point of all energies: health, relationships, creativity, career, and inner peace. If you congest it, you compress all of these life areas. This one simple placement mistake creates a domino effect, where what feels like a minor blockage slowly transforms into a larger disruption across multiple areas of your life. Let me share an insight I've seen countless times as both a Feng Shui consultant and someone deeply rooted in architectural balance. A person will call me unsure why their life feels stagnant. They've achieved a measure of external success, yet inside, they feel weighed down. I just feel stuck, they'll say. Not necessarily sad, not necessarily anxious, just stuck. And more often than not, we discover that the center of their home has become a storage zone, a parking lot, a place where energy goes to die. And what's one of the most common items I find? Shoe cabinets. Let's pause and reflect. Why are shoes such a powerful energetic symbol? Because they carry everything. Shoes are the vessels that move through streets, crowds, errands, arguments, storms, and traffic jams. They hold the tension of daily life, the dust of emotional residue, and the wear and tear of external chaos. When you place them at the core of your sacred space, even behind a sleek door, you are anchoring the heartbeat of your home in the energy of departure, struggle, and grime. Now imagine that central point, your energetic command center, taking in that vibration day in, day out. What do you think happens to your internal energy when you walk through that space? What do you think gets subtly echoed into your work mindset, your conversations, your sleep, your health? Every time you walk past that central cabinet filled with shoes, your body remembers stress before it remembers peace. Your mind revisits the world before it can rest in sanctuary. In one of my more memorable consultations, a woman in her early 40s reached out because she felt she had plateaued in her career. She was sharp, charismatic, and well-respected in her company, but hadn't seen any upward movement in 3 years. Her home was modern and clean. Every detail seemed intentional. But when I walked in and mapped the energy grid of her condo, I found that the Tai Chi, her central energy point, was occupied by a large, dark wooden shoe cabinet. It sat beneath a low-hanging light, absorbing and dulling the brightness. And it housed dozens of pairs of shoes from various life phases: heels from a failed relationship, boots from a high-stress job, sneakers from marathons she no longer ran. It was like a timeline of unresolved experiences pressed into the very soul of her home. I gently suggested that she relocate the cabinet and replace it with something that breathed life into the space. We chose a low ceramic planter with a healthy jade plant, symbolizing renewal, growth, and financial expansion. The light above was swapped for a warm, diffused lamp, and something subtle began to shift. Within weeks, she reported feeling more focused at work, less reactive in meetings. Her manager began involving her in higher-level strategy sessions. 2 months later, she was offered a leadership role in a new division. Was it magic? No, it was intention. By clearing the energetic center of her home, she gave herself room to rise. Let's go deeper into why this placement mistake is so consequential. In traditional Feng Shui, the center of the home is not tied to one specific life aspect. It governs the whole. It's associated with the earth element, which relates to stability, balance, nourishment, and groundedness. The earth element is what holds everything together. So when you pollute that space with a cabinet full of exit energy, you're interrupting the very balance you need to thrive. And think about the type of cabinet usually placed in the center. It's not a transparent, light, airy structure. It's often heavy, dense, and dark, symbolically pressing down on your life path. It creates an energetic low point, a gravitational pull towards stagnation. The air doesn't move, the chi doesn't breathe, and you don't either. Now let me ask you something, and I ask this as a friend, not a critic. When was the last time you looked at the center of your home? Not just passed through it, but really observed it. Stood in the middle, closed your eyes, and felt what it gave off? Because most people never do. They decorate the walls, they organize the closets. But the center, the part that holds everything together, is often ignored or misused. And in that neglect, imbalance is born. If you're nodding right now, thinking maybe your own center is carrying too much weight, it's okay. This is not about guilt. This is about awakening. The moment you become aware, you regain power. Feng Shui doesn't punish, it responds. And that means you can shift your energy today, right now, by making conscious, respectful choices about your space. So what should you do if your shoe cabinet sits at the center of your home? First, remove it. That doesn't mean get rid of it entirely. It means reassign it. Relocate it to a more grounded, less energetically sensitive area, perhaps near the garage entrance, laundry room, or a hallway with minimal energetic flow. Second, cleanse the space it once occupied, not just physically, but energetically. Burn sage or Palo Santo if you're comfortable, or simply open the windows and let in light and air. Third, replace the cabinet with something that nourishes, a plant, a symbol of harmony, a crystal grid, a simple rug with grounding colors. Something that reflects your intention to center yourself. And perhaps most importantly, observe the shift. Over the days and weeks that follow, track how your mood changes when you walk through your home. Watch how conversations flow, how decisions land, how your body feels in the space. Because when you free the heart of your home, you begin to feel more free yourself. This section connects deeply to the last. While the bedroom focuses on sleep and intimacy, and the entrance on external energy, the center is where those flows meet. And if the entrance is blocked and the bedroom is compromised, but the center is free, your home can still survive. But if the center is blocked, even the best arranged entry or bedroom will feel unsteady. That's why this is the core mistake, the hidden mistake, the one that matters most. So now, with clarity and awareness, I invite you to step into your center, not just physically, but intentionally, because that's where change begins. Not at the edge, not in the corners, but right in the heart. That's where energy is felt most. That's where you either lift or weigh down the life you're building. Mistake near the kitchen. If the kitchen is the sacred hearth of the home, the place where nourishment, warmth, and generational care are stirred into every pot, then what does it mean when we place shoes, those silent carriers of the outside world's chaos, right beside it? It's not just a design oversight, it's an energetic contradiction, a tug-of-war between life force and leftover dirt, between fire and fatigue, between intention and intrusion. The kitchen is where energy becomes edible. It's where your home breathes out love through food. But when a shoe cabinet lives beside it, that breath carries dust instead of nourishment, friction instead of flow. Think about it. Where do your shoes go every day? Through crowded streets, across grocery store floors, over parking lot oil, into offices and alleyways and sidewalks that carry 1,000 other energies you don't even realize you've stepped in. Now imagine taking that energy, not just the physical dirt, but the invisible weight of stress, competition, hurry, and exhaustion, and housing it 3 feet from where you dice vegetables or simmer soup for your family. It's like lighting a candle to bless a meal, and then placing it next to a trash bin. The scent of chaos mingles with intention until the whole room becomes confused. In Feng Shui, the kitchen is not simply a room for eating. It is a domain of fire, transformation, and creation. It's where raw ingredients, symbolic of your potential, are alchemized into something nourishing. The stove is particularly important. It represents wealth and health. But this energetic process is delicate. It requires purity of flow, harmony of surroundings, and a respect for the symbolic role the kitchen plays in your life. When shoes, or more specifically a shoe cabinet, encroach on that space, they muddy the very foundation of transformation. For women especially, this misplacement can be quietly devastating. In traditional Feng Shui, the kitchen has long been associated with the matriarchal center. Whether you're single, married, a mother, or simply someone who cares for themselves and others through food, this space is an energetic mirror of your ability to nourish, manifest, and create stability. And yet, I've walked into countless homes, modern, sleek, and stylish, only to find a shoe cabinet shoved between the kitchen doorway and the refrigerator, as if convenience were more important than coherence. Let me share something personal. I once worked with a single mother of two, an incredible woman juggling a career and parenting on her own. She came to me with two complaints. No matter how hard she worked, money always seemed to evaporate. And though she cooked for her family with love, mealtimes felt tense, rushed, and drained. Her apartment was small, and to save space, she'd placed her family's shoe cabinet directly adjacent to her galley kitchen. Not in it, but close enough that you could reach for a spatula and a sneaker in the same breath. I asked her to consider moving it, even just 6 feet away. She hesitated at first. It seemed silly to think a small cabinet could have such an impact. But within weeks of repositioning it, tucking it near the entry instead, something shifted. Her promotion came through. Her kids started helping in the kitchen. The room felt different, like it could exhale again. You see, energy doesn't need permission to influence your life. It just does. Your job is to either design with it or be designed by it. And nowhere is that more true than in the kitchen, where the energies of fire, earth, and nourishment demand respect. Let's go a little deeper. From an elemental standpoint, the kitchen embodies fire, supported by wood, cutting boards, herbs, even your pantry items. Shoes, on the other hand, are deeply connected to earth, dust, mud, terrain. When earth sits too close to fire, it suppresses it. Symbolically, this translates to suppressed ambition, digestive troubles, or even feeling stuck in life. It's not superstition, it's energetic logic. Your space speaks before you do. Now, some of you might be thinking, but my apartment is small. I don't have a choice. To that, I say this: you don't need more space. You need smarter flow. Even if you can't relocate the cabinet far away, you can do subtle things to interrupt the clash. Place a partition screen, add a plant with strong wood energy, like bamboo, between the two zones. Elevate your shoe cabinet so it doesn't sit directly on the floor. Use light or scent to delineate boundaries. An essential oil diffuser near your stove, or a hanging crystal above the cabinet to absorb and redirect chaotic chi. These may seem like small tweaks, but small adjustments, when made with intention, shift entire outcomes. It's not about minimalism, it's about meaning. I've been in luxury homes where everything gleamed, but the energy was cold, blocked, and brittle. And I've been in modest kitchens with chipped tiles and hand-me-down pots that radiated warmth, clarity, and life. The difference: flow, respect for function, symbolic harmony. So if you're standing in your kitchen and feeling like something's off, too many arguments over dinner, poor appetite, low energy, or even recurring financial stress, look around. Does your kitchen feel like a sanctuary or a storage zone? Does it smell like garlic and jong or rubber and dust? Because what lives near your food lives near your future. The next time you reach for your favorite bowl or simmer your grandmother's soup recipe, ask yourself, is this space clear enough for my abundance to grow? And if not, then start with the shoes. Mistake 5. Facing a sacred or reflective space. You can spend hours lighting candles, arranging incense, even whispering affirmations toward your vision board or spiritual altar. But if there's a shoe cabinet sitting directly across from it, silently radiating the vibration of dirt, transience, and outer world stress, your intentions may never truly land. Because in Feng Shui, not all physical objects are neutral. Some absorb, some reflect, but others interrupt. And shoe cabinets, especially when placed opposite sacred or symbolic focal points, do just that. They interrupt. Let's revisit the idea of energetic conversation. In a well-balanced home, every object, surface, and space is in communication with every other. The altar whispers strength to the room. The vision board calls to future possibility. A mirror, when thoughtfully placed, doubles the energy it reflects. But when you position a low-vibration object like a shoe cabinet in direct visual or energetic line with these sacred zones, you mute that conversation. It's like trying to sing a song while someone vacuums nearby. You might still be making sound, but it can't be heard clearly. Here's the deeper truth. Shoes are symbols of movement, of departure and return. They represent the boundary between the outside world and your inner sanctuary. We use them to walk through parking lots, crowded sidewalks, hospital corridors, office buildings, gyms, everywhere energy collects and accumulates. And even when those shoes are neatly stored in a cabinet, the essence of what they carry remains. That cabinet becomes a container of residue. And in Feng Shui, where residue meets resonance, disruption is born. So why is this especially harmful when placed across from a sacred or reflective space? Because these areas, whether spiritual altars, mirrors, meditation corners, or vision boards, are designed to amplify clarity, intention, and alignment. They act like energetic magnifying glasses. They don't just hold space, they project it. When you place a shoe cabinet across from them, you're not just blocking energy, you're misdirecting it. You're giving your highest, purest intentions a view of one of your home's lowest frequencies. Imagine writing a love letter, but folding it up and placing it in a garbage bin. That's what it's like to set your sacred intentions while facing them toward a shoe cabinet. It's not dramatic, it's vibrational. The dissonance is subtle, but it compounds over time. People often tell me, I meditate every morning, but I don't feel anything changing, or I light incense every night, but the peace never lasts. And the first question I ask is, what does that meditation space face? What is directly in its line of sight? One client had a gorgeous vision board in her home office covered in photos of travels she dreamed of taking, a business she longed to grow, and quotes that gave her goosebumps. She said she sat in front of it daily, but across from it, nestled between two chairs, was a dark wood shoe cabinet filled with her husband's old running shoes and winter boots. She never thought twice about it. But once we moved the cabinet and replaced it with a reflective surface and a plant that symbolized growth, things shifted. She felt clearer. And 3 months later, her long-stalled startup landed its first major contract. Coincidence? Maybe. But in Feng Shui, we don't believe in coincidence. We believe in clarity. The energetic principle here is simple but powerful. Sacred spaces amplify what they see, and what they see matters more than most people realize. You can't call in clarity while letting chaos sit across from it. You can't ask for abundance while placing a container of dirty souls and energetic clutter in your prosperity path. The same goes for mirrors. Mirrors are one of the most misunderstood elements in Feng Shui. They're not just decorative. They're doubling agents. Whatever a mirror reflects, it magnifies. So if your shoe cabinet faces a mirror, you're not neutralizing its presence, you're doubling it. Twice the clutter, twice the stuck energy, twice the stress. Let me say this clearly. If your mirror is reflecting a shoe cabinet, you are energetically inviting double the weight of external burdens into your home. And for people already struggling with decision fatigue, financial stagnation, or emotional overwhelm, this is a detail that makes a massive difference. And it's not just spiritual altars or mirrors that count. Vision boards, meditation seats, family shrines, even photos of ancestors or inspirational figures. These all operate on the level of intention. They are not passive. They emit, they guide, they teach, and they deserve visual space that respects their purpose. Think of these spaces like radio antennas. You want them receiving clear signal, not static. That's why, in many traditional homes across Asia, certain unspoken rules are passed down for generations. Never place unclean items in line with ancestral altars. Never let the energy of movement block the flow of memory, prayer, or inner stillness. You don't need to be religious to respect this wisdom. You only need to be intentional. You only need to want your home to echo your values. So what's the solution? First, locate any space in your home that you consider sacred, inspiring, or intentionally reflective. This could be a vision board in your hallway, a prayer mat in your bedroom, a candle-lit shelf in your living room, or even a mirror in your entryway. Then look directly across from it. What's there? If it's a shoe cabinet, remove it. Replace it with something that supports the energy you want more of. A plant for growth, a light for clarity, a soft textile for peace, a wooden shelf with meaningful symbols. Because here's the thing, you don't need to throw away your shoe cabinet. You just need to reposition it. Feng Shui is rarely about deprivation. It's about direction. Energy doesn't need perfection, it needs permission. And when you place a shoe cabinet facing your sacred or reflective spaces, what you're doing, unknowingly, is denying permission. You're confusing the signal. You're sending mixed messages to your subconscious and the space around you. So give your sacred space the gift of space. Give it clarity. Let it reflect possibility, not residue. Let it face light, growth, and purpose. And in return, watch what starts reflecting back into your life. The universe is always listening, but your home is the microphone. Make sure it isn't pointed at your shoes. Where to place your shoe cabinet? Let's take a breath together, not to retreat, but to recenter. Because now that we've peeled back the layers of what doesn't work, it's time to step into what does. And this part matters just as much, if not more. Fixing a mistake is only half the equation. Real transformation begins when we know where energy is meant to go and why. Think of your home like a living system. It breathes, it speaks, it feels. And your shoe cabinet? It's one of its subtle organs. Not glamorous, but necessary. Quiet, but impactful. And just like you wouldn't place your liver in your elbow, you don't want to place your shoes in a part of the home that can't metabolize their energy. Because as we've already explored, shoes are not neutral. They are energy carriers. They hold stories, tension, memories, even moods. And their container, the cabinet, is not just about tidiness, it's about transformation. So let's walk through the 5 most energetically aligned, life-supporting, flow-enhancing places to position your shoe cabinet. Places that won't just make your home feel better, but will quietly shape your days, your choices, and your sense of ease within your own space. Placement 1. To the right of the entryway, a zone of gentle protection. This is perhaps one of the most understated yet powerful placements for a shoe cabinet, just to the right of your main door as you enter, not directly in front, not blocking the path, but adjacent. Why does this matter? Because the right side of the entry is symbolically associated with yang energy, protective, active, supportive. When a cabinet is placed here, it acts like a loyal guardian, not just hiding your shoes, but stabilizing your first energetic imprint as you enter the space. It's not screaming for attention, nor is it banished to a corner. It holds its role like a quiet sentinel. From a construction perspective, this side tends to be better lit and more natural to access if you're right-handed, which the majority of people are. That means less awkward movement, more flow and motion. And in Feng Shui, ease of motion equals ease of transition, and life is nothing but a series of transitions. Here's something most people overlook. When your eyes are not assaulted by clutter upon entering, your brain doesn't default to stress. This small visual relief sends a signal to your nervous system. You're safe, you're home, you can relax. Placing the cabinet to the right not only respects this principle, but subtly reinforces it over and over again every time you step inside. Placement 2, inside a discrete hallway cabinet. Seamless flow, silent strength. If you live in a layout where your entrance flows into a narrow hallway or a transitional zone, congratulations. You have one of the most adaptable zones for shoe storage. A built-in or discrete hallway cabinet acts like a buffer. It absorbs the outer world before it reaches the core of your home. And that's not just good design, it's energetic strategy. Because hallways are liminal spaces. They are bridges between energies. And a hallway cabinet says, pause, leave the world behind, enter with intention. Think of it like a mental antechamber. It gives you the option to transition consciously from the public to the personal, from tension to ease. From a Feng Shui perspective, the hallway cabinet is what we call an energetic transformer. It captures what doesn't belong and contains it. But this only works if the cabinet is well designed. No overflowing sneakers, no cabinet with broken hinges, no neglected corner filled with dust. Because if the cabinet becomes chaotic, so does your transition. And you start carrying that chaos with you into the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom, even into your dreams. What makes this placement special is that it blends function with intention. You don't have to sacrifice beauty for energy. You can choose natural materials, calming colors, and even line the inside with cedar or lavender to absorb not just scent, but residual energy. This is where modern living meets mindful design. And the result is a home that doesn't just look good, it feels clean even when life isn't. Placement 3, under the stairs, only if well ventilated. Harnessing vertical flow. Now let's talk about a controversial one, placing your shoe cabinet under the stairs. You've probably heard horror stories. Some Feng Shui texts will flat out say it's bad luck. But let's be clear, it's not the placement that's wrong, it's how it's done. Under the stairs is a potent energetic zone. It's where vertical motion, symbolic of life's progress and ambition, meets grounded function. And that convergence can be powerful or problematic. If you cram a messy, poorly ventilated cabinet under your stairs, yes, you're choking the vertical flow. But if you place a neat, well-maintained, ventilated shoe cabinet in that space, you're actually creating what we call a grounding anchor. Think of it as a soft landing for the energy that's rushing downward. It prevents that energy from scattering or stagnating. Instead, it gets rooted, filtered, before it enters the lower zones of your home. This is especially effective in two-story homes where the stairs descend directly toward the entrance or living area. That kind of alignment can send energy rushing too quickly, making the space feel unsettled. A shoe cabinet here acts like a gentle brake, slowing the chi, giving it a moment to recalibrate. But again, intention is everything. Make sure the cabinet is ventilated, keep it clean. Don't use it as a dumping ground. Place a grounding object above it, like a soft light or even a small plant, to soften the energy field. And most of all, treat it like a design feature, not a hiding spot. Placement 4, behind a partition, visual clarity, energetic purity. This might be the most visually elegant solution, placing your shoe cabinet behind a partition or decorative screen. Not only does this preserve the aesthetic integrity of your entrance or hallway, but it does something even more important. It prevents visual interruption. And in Feng Shui, visual interruption is energetic confusion. Let's break that down. When you walk into a space and your eyes immediately land on something functional or unattractive, your brain processes that data before you even speak a word. Your nervous system reacts, your mood shifts, and over time, your subconscious begins associating home with mess, even if the rest of your space is beautiful. A partition removes that problem entirely. It creates a clean first impression. It tells your energy, there's clarity here, there's calm, you're welcome. But the power of a partition goes beyond looks. In construction and spatial design, partitions are known to redirect flow. They help reshape how we move and feel in a space. In Feng Shui, they work like energetic translators. They allow the qi to circulate without visual pollution. And when you place your shoe cabinet behind one, you're saying, I value order, but I also value grace. It's a gesture of respect to yourself, to your guests, to the energy of your home. Use materials that feel grounded but light. Wood is excellent. Linen curtains or rice paper screens also work beautifully. Make sure the partition doesn't feel like a wall. It should suggest separation, not imposition. And if possible, decorate the front side of the partition with something calming, a plant, a mirror placed wisely, or a meaningful image. This way, even though the shoes are hidden, the message is loud and clear. This is a space of dignity. Placement 5, integrated cabinet with a plant above. Harmony and duality. Let's finish with one of the most healing placements, an integrated cabinet with a living plant above. This is not just about convenience. This is about alchemy. Why? Because shoes represent earth energy, dense, used, grounded. Plants represent wood energy, growth, renewal, upward movement. When you place a plant above your cabinet, you're literally inviting upward transformation of downward energy. You're saying, let what has walked become what now grows. This is one of my favorite placements for small apartments or urban homes where space is tight. You can have a sleek cabinet painted in a soothing tone, say warm taupe, olive, or ash gray, and above it, a potted peace lily, golden pothos, or even a lucky bamboo. The plant doesn't just soften the visual footprint, it acts as an energy sponge, absorbing tension, releasing oxygen, and elevating the mood. Scientifically, indoor plants improve air quality. Energetically, they improve emotional quality. It's a win-win. But there's more. This arrangement reinforces the principle of renewal. Every time you take off your shoes and glance up at that plant, your body remembers, I can release what I carry. I can grow again. Just be sure to tend to the plant. A dying plant above a shoe cabinet reverses the flow. It suggests stagnation, neglect, regression. But a thriving one, it becomes a symbol, a ritual, a declaration that even the most mundane corner of your home is part of your sacred ecosystem. Now, before we close, let's pause and shine light on something crucial. The most common mistake I see, especially among viewers like you, is storing shoes near the kitchen or bedroom. These locations might seem convenient, even logical, but energetically, they clash, they confuse, they contaminate, and worst of all, they normalize disruption. But here's the beauty. You can fix this. Not in a year, not in a month, but today. These small shifts bring big results, often in days, not because of superstition, but because your home is finally allowed to breathe, flow, and support you. So take this knowledge not just as information, but as invitation. Your home is speaking. Are you ready to listen? Let's come back to where we began. Not with fear, but with awareness. Because sometimes the biggest shift in your life begins with the smallest change in your space. And for many of us, the shoe cabinet was never just a cabinet. It was a blind spot, a quiet energy leak, a pattern we never questioned because everyone else was doing the same thing. But that's the point. Most people unknowingly place their shoe cabinets in exactly the wrong places. Right by the door, near the kitchen, next to the bed. Not because they're careless, but because no one ever told them that the way you store what you carry on your feet can shape how you carry your future. Now you know, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. We've walked together through the 5 most common mistakes, from blocking the front door's breath, to sleeping beside the dirt of your day, to cluttering the home's heart, to polluting spaces of nourishment, and finally, unintentionally pointing shoes towards spaces of reflection and intention. And then we stepped into clarity. 5 refined placements that don't just fix the problem, but rewire your relationship with space. The right of entry, a tucked hallway, under stairs with breath, behind a visual pause, and under the uplift of plants. The lesson is simple, but not small. Everything in your home either uplifts or unsettles. Your shoe cabinet, humble as it is, whispers messages every single day about how you release, how you restore, and whether you're truly ready to walk forward. When you place it with intention, your space becomes a declaration. You are no longer a passenger of stagnant energy. You are the navigator of momentum. At New Day Mindfulness, we don't just talk about furniture. We speak about energy, how it enters, how it flows, how it heals. This isn't about superstition, it's about spatial consciousness. Your home is a living map of your life, and by shifting one object, you rewrite the direction of the path ahead. So ask yourself gently but honestly, are you ready to move forward lighter? Are you willing to listen to what your space has been quietly trying to tell you? If this message spoke to you, I invite you to share it. Leave a comment and tell me, where was your shoe cabinet before? Where is it now? What changed? You'd be surprised how many people are walking the same path. And sometimes reading your story might be the very nudge someone else needs to shift theirs. And if this video offered value to you, please like, share, and subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. It's the best way you can support my work and help this channel reach 5,000 subscribers so I can keep creating meaningful, grounded, and practical content for a community that's ready to live more intentionally. Because here at New Day Mindfulness, our mission is to make the invisible visible, to help you feel the subtle shifts that change everything. Not through fear, not through dogma, but through clarity, through alignment, through peaceful awareness of what your home is asking of you and what you're now ready to ask of your home in return. Let this be your reminder. A small cabinet, placed with care, can carry not just shoes, but new energy, new direction, and a new day.